Right, thanks very much, Paul, for coming down, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. How's yourself?
Good, mate. How's the business?
Aye, good. Really busy now. Really busy. So, sort of had a lull in March.
Right.
Just sort of standard, people paying tax bills and then the energy stuff and that. But since then, I've been chock-a-block.
Is this like, see, coming into the season, is this like the busy time? Or is it?
It isn't. It isn't. It's good now because we mainly base it at sort of Glasgow and both Old Firm teams. And both teams doing well. We've got a lot of stuff in stock at the moment for Celtic and Rangers, so going really well in that aspect. And at this time of year, you start getting people winning stuff, the pros winning stuff.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple of inquiries so far, RE like medals and shirts and stuff like that. So aye, good. Well.
Do you get see for like the fitter players and that? Is that spread out all year? Is this like, see, because they obviously get 2 or 3 tops the new? Is this where you see this sort
of goes in sort of spurts, I would say.
Right.
Like, you can go maybe 6 months without speaking to somebody because they're just concentrated on the season. Then as things start to wind down, you sort of start getting in contact, and then summer it's normally sort of busy talking to people as well.
Aye. So what I was wanting to ask you, do you get a lot of people that just maybe go to the Celtic store, get a Celtic tap and then bring it in and frame just a regular tap? Is that something?
I've done that plenty of times. So what I've done for somebody a couple of weeks ago, what was interesting was they went and bought a Celtic top. And it was for a boy's 18th birthday. They got his name and 18 in the back, and everybody that came into the party signed the back of the shirt.
Ah, right.
And then they took that on, got it framed, and gave it back to him as part of his parents. So it's quite a cool idea.
I seen there was something that I wanted to do at my wedding. Was have just married, and then on the just you did the 2000, and on the other side you did the 22 or 23, and get everybody to sign it.
Aye, we done that for, it was, I don't know if he's still there, but it was a Clyde physio. I think his second name was McKinsley.
Right.
And the guys from Clyde signed a home and away shirt, and one was Mr. and one was Mrs.
Right.
And then the date of the wedding, and then framed the two of them together for them.
My missus isn't having it, man.
No.
Nah, she's not having it. She wants just a...
Nothing allowed up in the house.
Just a bit. Oh, so I've obviously got all my tops up in the house, and she was raging with that, but the way I sold it to her was, I want to start doing podcasts, so I want to have a nice wee backdrop in that, and she was like, oh, fine. So I've got 10 up, then obviously I've got the 3 for you the new. But she doesn't care, I've got these ones coming the new.
Right, okay.
So I'm going to have to try and
wing
it somehow.
About.
Aye, aye. So how do you get into it? How did that happen?
It's not really like a pure romantic business story, to be honest with you. I think the first thing I done was, I own a printing business as well. I've done that since I was 20, so I've done that for the last 13 years now. I started doing a job for Danny McGrain, and it was Christmas cards. Danny's good friends with my uncle, so he wanted Christmas cards printed. And the deal with Danny was, instead of paying for the Christmas cards, could I come up and get some stuff signed? So I went and bought a couple of Celtic tops, got some things signed, came back, and then I thought maybe try framing as well. And that's what I'd done. I tried to frame a couple of them, but the first one I ever done was one of my good mates, Kevin Colley, plays with Alwa.
Right.
So when I was going to start trying to frame them, I asked all the boys if anybody did anything sort of lying about, and Kev gave me 3 or 4 of his Alwa tops.
Right.
For when he won the league and stuff. And the deal was that I would frame it up for him and keep it in the work.
Aye, yeah.
And the day he wanted it back, he could just have it back framed. So that's still up in the work now. That was the first one I ever done.
And it's just, ever since that, it's just...
Just took off, just took off.
How did you teach yourself how to do it?
I looked at the sort of do's and don'ts first of all. Right. So in my business, we don't use like tape, we don't use staples, glue, anything like that at all. We mainly use pins, and that's all. And the reason we use pins, it doesn't damage the top. It's not everybody that can do it. It's sort of a drawn out way of doing it. It takes a lot longer to do as well.
Yeah.
But it means that if you ever put a top in a frame and you want to take it back out, you take it back out, it's completely undamaged.
It's not got big holes in it or staples.
So, and the same with like the sleeves and stuff that we do for you.
Yeah.
All done a sort of secret way, something maybe people don't know. I've had a couple of framers that ask me how I do them, but it's just we try and we try and keep it as sort of simple as possible. Trick is not to do overkill on it as well. And it's a sort of balance of time versus.
Yeah.
It's 2 seconds, I'll turn that phone off.
You're alright, don't worry about it.
Sure?
Aye,
my phone will go mental in here as well.
Is it a business phone?
I just roll.
Mrs. goes mental. Aye, you could be standing having go to the wee man's nursery. Try to have a talk to the nursery teacher, my phone's going mental.
Have you?
Aye.
So what were you doing before you done this? See, before you started the printing and the framing and stuff.
So, obviously, I came out of school.
Were you good at school?
I came out of school. I was okay. I was very good up until maybe 5th year, and then you sort of hit that age where 16, 17, 16, 17, and all things take priority to you at that point. But I came out of school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do coming out of school. I finished 6th year. I got decent grades, and I went to university and done a degree in web design and multimedia technology. But to be honest with you, like my uni life was just based around going out and partying. I was out like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Oh, is it?
Every week without fail. And then
in Glasgow, like?
In Glasgow, aye.
Where was good?
Oh, Carbon.
Carbon,
mate, aye. Carbon on a Tuesday night was absolute heaven. The only thing was you got to Carbon a Tuesday night. If you didn't get into that VIP room, you'd be as well just packing your stuff and going back up the road again, aye.
Shite.
I had a wee mate, but he was cracking with the bouncers. Any bouncer that he met, he would always remember him the next week. So that was us in the VIP room. We liked all the football players every week. That was class, aye. Between there and the silver on a Thursday.
So did you finish a course?
No, I dropped out. It was a 3-part course, HNC, HND degree.
Right.
I dropped out at HND. It just wasn't for me. Like I was by that stage of trying to study. And I came out there and I went into a couple of different sales jobs, and then my dad owned a printing company at that point. Sort of older style to what I'm into now. But I went in there, worked in there with him for a year. It wasn't for him to work in that trade anymore, and I took over for there.
And it's just ever since. Was that the same shop you're in now?
Aye, exact same shop.
In
Yep.
Cambuslang?
Yep, same shop, 13 years.
So how did you get like in tow with your first? Who was your first big name football player you got in touch with?
Don't even think it was me getting in touch with them. I remember Tony Watt being one of the first ones that I actually done work for.
Did you frame his Barca top?
I did.
Did you?
Aye, I done. The first 3 I done for Tony was his top that he wore against Barcelona. I done Pirlo's top that he swapped in the Juventus game. Aye, and the third one was Pedro.
Did he get that in the Barca game?
Pedro game. He's top in the Barca game. Aye, so that was it. The first 3 I done was his goal against Barca, Pedro's top, and Pirlo's top.
How long after the Barca game did you do them?
Oh, that was been a good
after?
because I only started up with framing probably about 5 years ago.
Oh, so well after that.
Aye, so it was well after that. But to be honest with you, I think it's seems to have got a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
But at the time, there wasn't many people doing it either.
No.
There wasn't many people doing it.
Is there folk up there doing it now? Like, say, competitors? Is there many folk up there?
There would be. I would like to think we're one of the biggest in Scotland now in terms of sort of your profiles, social medias, and the guys that we do work for. We do work for majority of the players in Scotland.
Yeah.
Do work for a good lot of guys down in England, down the Championship. I've got one guy I do work for, plays in Serie A.
Who's he?
A boy called Lewis Binks.
So you done his free taps, didn't
you?
Yeah,
so he plays for Bologna at the moment.
So how did you get his tops to him once they're framed?
He wanted them sent down, I think it's his mum's address, down in England.
Obviously,
so I just put them down to England for him, rather than having to send them international.
Have you ever sent in international?
I've done a couple of things. Doing one now for a boy who plays for Celtic, Johnny Kenny.
Right.
That's going over to Ireland.
Right. So is that just a DPD or parcel?
Became a wee bit more different now because of Brexit and stuff. There's a lot of paperwork involved in that.
Right.
But sent one over to Luxembourg, a Rangers fan over in Luxembourg. Wanted his stuff framed.
And he sent it over to you?
Sent it over to me to get done, aye. And then sent back to Luxembourg.
So you're saying your social media profile is like one of the biggest. Do you think that's more important in your line of work or word of mouth? Like, do you need players to talk, or do you think your social media carries it?
It's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both,
aye, because I know for a fact that if anybody asks in the Rangers group chat, and I know this because it's happened before, does anybody get the details for a framer? And my name's one of the first ones that go in, and it goes in a few times into the Rangers chat.
Yeah.
I'd like to think the same in the Celtic chat as well for the sort of guys that I do work for, but it's word of mouth is good for the pros, but the likes of your Twitter and your Instagram for normal Joe Blog wanting stuff framed is bread and butter.
Aye, then now you've got to have a big social. See, if you don't get social media, I don't think you're.
Nah, you're a dinosaur.
Aye, you're a dinosaur, aren't you? You've got to have a good social media.
See, I'm trying to get more into the sort of TikTok side of it as well.
I've been saying this to him for time.
So I put a video on TikTok. So me big Sean Rooney on last week, right? And he said he doesn't wear shin pads.
At all?
Doesn't wear shin pads at all.
Right.
Right. So I was like, what? I said, you allowed to do that? I don't know, mate. I don't do it.
So the referee will be fucking checking
I
every
said
time now, won't he?
So I said to him, I said, you alright if I put this on TikTok and YouTube? He said, aye, if you want, aye. So I stuck it on TikTok, and it's sort of like 26,000 views now.
Is it? That's brilliant, isn't it?
It's been on a couple of days.
That's brilliant. See, I tried to get into the TikTok thing. It is a wee bit sort of beyond me, but I downloaded an app that makes up the videos, and then I drop them onto YouTube and change the sort of soundtracks. But I could probably do well on TikTok. I've dropped a couple of videos that move into sort of the thousands of likes, but it's time aspect as well. The time aspect's killer.
I think you've got to have somebody that's literally just there for TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
I think TikTok has a niche for everything. I've seen a guy that all he does is just show off his watches. He's got hundreds of thousands of likes. Just showing off what watches he's wearing.
You do the good one on TikTok. It's where you fling the top. See if you've done that for every single top and just.
See, it was a guy that I do work for, Chris, that owns a company called Boxfresh.
Right.
And they clean trainers.
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen his work. Aye.
And I didn't even think about TikTok, and it was Chris that was into me, and he's saying, Paul, you need to do this. It's like, this is mental. We've had like 500,000 likes on one video cleaning a pair of Balenciaga trainers, and I was like, right. He's like, you could do the same. You're doing something from a process which is nothing to finished product.
Yeah.
So you could be doing that. So again, tried it, sort of doing really well in it for like 5 or 6 weeks, and then that way you just sort of completely fall away.
Just start looking at videos. I can't be asked to make a range.
Aye, it is.
I think you've got to be doing like 2 and 3 a day, don't you, just to keep it?
As you said, I think you could easily employ somebody to do that as your full-time job. But the other aspect of me is as well, I do a lot in my sort of starting process, the pinning stage. I'll do it in the house. I've got a workstation in the house, and I'll do it while watching the football at night. So by the time I take the video and then go to the finished article, there'll be hundreds of pictures in between, videos in between. It's finding everything.
Fuck it, man. No.
Hiding the tricks of the trade too.
That's it. I've done a couple of videos like that and just sped them right up so that you can't really see in between it.
Have you got a tool belt in that?
No. But what I do is I've got a pair of work trousers.
Have you?
Like 5 or 6 different pockets in them. Because I'm terrible for it. Like I always I used to put stuff down all the time and forget where I was putting everything. So now I'm just
bad for that.
Oh, I'm terrible for it. Terrible. I worked myself for a long time, and see if I didn't work myself, I would be sure people were stealing pens. Honestly.
That is him.
Box of pens every couple of months.
So I'll get to where we work, and he's away home, and I'll do like an order. If he comes in the next day, he's left it on ice and that, there's fucking no pens left and there's clothes everywhere.
Blades lying about. And
that's it. I don't know, John. I don't know.
I've got a cheek, I know the boy that works for me, I chin him and tell him to get the place tidied up every Friday night. See, before he came in, you could never find a thing.
When did you take him on? Is that just a new?
I took Stephen on sort of by the start of February. I took him on a works trial.
This year?
Aye, I took him on a works trial. That'd be my first ever proper employee.
Is that because busy, or is that because you want to spend more time with the Wayne, or just a bit of both?
It's both. I used to work like crazy hours before lockdown. I would start work at maybe 7:30 in the morning, and that would be me. And I would finish sometimes at sort of 1, 2 in the morning. Go home, get a couple of hours. But when the lockdown came, it was the second lockdown mainly, over the one that fell sort of over Christmas.
Yeah.
And I started spending more time with my wee boy, and he was at a good age. He was just coming up for 2. And then I realised that sometimes just you don't have to work that much. You can prioritise. So what I ended up doing is after that lockdown, I would start work I would take him to childminder at 8 o'clock, start work at 8:30, finish at 3 o'clock, go and pick him up for 3:30.
Yeah.
Spend the time up with him, get him his dinner, bath, bed, put him to bed, and if I had to go back into work, I'd go back in at work maybe 7, 8 at night and do a couple of hours. But you sort of, I think as they get older, you start to prioritise, like, he's your life now rather than work being your life.
When we first started this, I was the same. It was like, because I've obviously got a full-time job as well as all this.
Yep.
So I was like day shift 6 to 6, and then Dave would come in at 7 and we'd do like 7 to midnight.
Aye.
So it's like 18 odd days. And the missus was obviously getting angry, and the Waynes were wanting me, and so it's just, as the Waynes come first, didn't
you sort of miss out on them as well.
Aye, and the reason I'm doing this is for the Waynes as well. Like,
of course it is.
If it doesn't work for me, fair enough. But you want your Waynes to, oh, it's my dad does that, and my mum does that. So hats off to you. So I take it, so likes of Tony Watt and the rest of the footballers, do you ever just message him and say, oh, if you ever get any top, is that, because that's how we get a lot of footballers like when we're starting, obviously to market it and stuff, you've obviously got to get a few footballers to wear it.
You come to sort of pre-arrangements with them where
yeah.
they do a bit of posting for you. It used to be maybe a couple of people, old firm players, where I would send a message to. If it got to them, then perfect. If they read it, good. Like sometimes tagging people on stories, you would see that they've seen it on the story.
Yeah.
But normally what I do now is if guys follow me, I'll then follow them and ping them a message.
Aye, and just
normally what would happen is if they follow me and I follow them back, normally get a message sent to you within 5-10 minutes, because they're following you for
to
that
get
reason.
that job done. It's really the same. So like, if somebody follows us, we'd say, oh, if you ever want any of the stock, give us a shout, we'll give you X% off, blah blah blah. And that's obviously the top's worked.
Yeah.
So I think we speak to a lot of people, and they get a lot of messages saying, oh, any chance of a top, any chance of a top.
Aye.
But footballers like to get, like me and you, we like to get something back for some. So it's like if I'm saying I'll give you and your Wayne's matching hoodies, matching t-shirts, a signed top.
If I see somebody that actually like is wanting information, like to build a business, I'll try and give them advice like as much as possible without giving away, as we said earlier, the secrets. I had one chap say to me, like, I spoke to Elle about it, like, how do you do the sleeves? I'm not going to give away exactly how I do it, but what I can do is I can sort of say, that's not how to do it. He gave me a suggestion. I was like, I wouldn't be doing that at all. But I'll help people as much as possible in terms of, I don't think there's anybody that's going to come in, start up a business, then go and compete with me. No. And if there is, I'm not really bothered with that. I'm doing well enough as it is anyway. Yeah. So I've got quite a bit of experience now for being sort of younger. So I'll give you as much information as you can to get you going.
I think it's how they word it as well. So we get it sometimes, and it's like, where'd you get your hoodies from, or where'd you get your t-shirts from? Or like,
I think it's people just wanting a business hand wrapped in the hand.
Yeah, of course it is. They're wanting you to do the hard work for them at times. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. As I said, they don't mind giving people information, but they've got to go and learn as well. Like you've got to build from your mistakes, as you're saying.
Yeah. Well, every single thing to start with we done was YouTube videos. So like our first website was built watching a YouTube video, how to print, watching a YouTube video. Like people just want me to go, 2 seconds mate, I'll pop round and I'll fucking show you how to print a hoodie.
See, it's the time of it as well, because you're going to take a lot more time. You're saying about the website. I done web design at uni, so but my website was probably sort of a wee bit better, and then it moved into the framing and the memorabilia, and my website for that to go with was okay to start. Yeah. But I ended up having to pay, I paid a lot of money to get my website done properly last year, completely redesigned last year. Up to a stage where sort of to match where I would say that the business is now. Yeah,
I think it helps having it. So we obviously had the first website, and we done the same last year. We obviously paid a lot of money to the guys to go and refurb it and make it so that when you go on the website, it's like
this is real.
It's like it's not just 2 wee guys in a house. You know what I mean? It looks like an actual clothing brand. Have you got your own shirt collection? Have you got your own memorabilia?
I haven't. Like none of my stuff's framed.
No,
nothing. My missus is not having me putting up anything up in the house, so no. I don't collect shirts as such, but if I've got stuff, I think I want one of them. Like I've got a box in the house, and it is literally a sealed box. I've got an R9 signed shirt. I've got a Messi. I've got a Cristiano Ronaldo, but it's no stuff. It's probably no stuff that I'll ever sell on, and it might not even ever get framed.
Just sitting there doing nothing?
Just sitting there doing nothing.
You ever had somebody give you something and then they'll come back for it?
Oh, aye.
All the time?
All the time.
Have you?
I've got 3 tops, and
who is it? Call them out.
And they work them out. I can't even remember their names. You know that?
At what point is it, if they never get back to you?
We are talking now. I would say it was a Kieran Tierney signed shirt.
It's not mine, is it?
From 2018. So you're talking 4 years, just sitting there. So there was 3 tops put in together. Can't remember what one of them was. One of them was a Gary Anderson signed Scotland shirt. I think the guy must have had it on at the darts. Got it signed, I'll call him it, and this one, there's big sweat patches under the arms on it and everything.
You sniff it now?
No, I'm glad they're sealed. And a Kieran Tierney signed shirt. And I tried to phone the guy the mobile just goes straight onto the answer machine. And then like 2 years later, he came in, I handed in these shirts. Have you still got them? I said, aye, they're sitting there. Right, okay, I'll be back.
Never
came back. So he actually came in. And then...
Has that ever changed your opinion? And do you have a time frame if somebody doesn't get back to you? You can't just store other people's stuff.
The wee apprentice is choking for the Tierney one.
Is he?
Aye, he's eyeing that up.
And so how long
He's eyeing that
sit
up.
before you're like, this is taking up space?
It's one of the ones, isn't it? Like, it's been 4 years, you're well within your rights to go,
Oh, 100%.
that's yours, we'll move it on. But I'm always one of the people as well, I think if you move that on the next week, the guy's coming in and saying, the guy's coming in and saying, where's your shirt? So
he says, I've been in a coma for 4 years, where's my tap?
Aye, been in a coma, and unfortunately my phone was in my pocket when I got put in.
Where's my tap? Oh, this wee guy's just as soon as nothing important. Guys, G Shaw.
Aye.
How did that come about?
He messaged me.
He did, mate.
He messaged me, aye. I have no idea. I think it might have been Twitter.
Right.
Sure, it was Twitter because for some reason we're bigger on Twitter than we are on Instagram, although I would probably say there's more sort of pros, footballers, rugby players, etc. follow us on Instagram, but guys started following us, and then obviously you have a check at it, and then the first thing you do is check to see if it's actually got a blue tick or not, and then after that you go and you check the tweets to see what's on. So I think he followed us, and then can't remember if I messaged him. Probably I messaged him about 3 seconds later after the follow, right enough, but hi mate, noticed you follow, anything I can do for you, and he messaged back straight away saying,
why aye man?
Aye, why aye man? Started talking about some parsnip, I don't know what that was for, but aye, he said, if you want to frame some shirts from us, I'm getting my garage converted, we're looking to put the shirts up, I've already got the shirts. Aye, no problem at all. So it sort of went on for about maybe 3 or 4 months where I would send a message, he would send a message back maybe like 8 weeks later.
Right.
And then, aye, like, and then he says, I'll get the shirts up to you. And he sent the shirts up. Some were already framed, but he wanted them put into other frames, and other ones were loose. He had a Newcastle top, he had a Man U squad signed shirt, a Liverpool squad signed shirt, and he wanted these framed up the same as the ones that he's already got, but all the same. Yeah. And I think I ended up doing like 7 or 8 shirts.
Right.
And the problem was because they were 3D shirts, so there's a sort of gap in the box which is like that size. And
what do you mean 3D shirt?
So you get the perspex in the mount,
right,
and then what you've got is maybe a rebate of about that much, maybe about 6 inches, and the shirt goes in a curve in behind it. But the problem is when you send stuff like this through courier, you can wrap it up as good as you want, but you're always going to have that 6 inch worth of space in there, and you can, so I ended up saying to him, I was going down to England for a couple of meetups with footballers and ex-footballers anyway, and I was meeting them in Manchester.
Right.
And I says to him, if you give me your address, I'll just bring them over to you, which was Leeds. So it wasn't that far.
So you dropped them off?
I dropped them off to him, aye.
You wanted a picture, didn't you?
Aye, that's what it was, aye.
Oh, I'm coming down, by the way, aye.
Aye, good for business. I'm just passing by Leeds anyway, aye.
When you coming down, whenever you need me, I'll be down.
Aye, went up to his house, big gated estate.
You nervous? He's quite famous, isn't he? He's big. He's no big time, but he's famous.
Nervous, like, I used to be nervous when I used to meet people at the start.
Did you get starstruck when you at the start?
No particularly. Well, at the start, sort of, maybe a wee bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
But as you go on, like, I think a lot of these guys, especially the footballers, they're just guys.
Just normal guys, isn't they?
Guys with families that...
Was he the same? Just a not...
He was okay when I met him, mate. Aye, he was brand new. Like, I went to him, he says, just came in, gated estate right through. Big, massive house. And like,
nice outside.
Aye, really, really nice. I parks my... I think at that point I had like a Mercedes C180, and I parked up beside his big, massive, I think it's a white Bentley G. Stood at that store for him, and then he's like that, just came in, and I had my missus, my wee boy, I took us all down to Manchester. I just booked into a really nice hotel in Manchester, and I had my missus, my wee boy with us. Obviously my missus seen Gassage all the show, and my wee boy's sleeping in the back. So I was like, tell listen, you're going to have to sit here in the motor with Louis. Where I go in.
Did you see him eventually? Did you see him?
Aye, well she had to come in and she came in and took the photos and stuff. So, but I mean, I went in and he's like, just come through. I think he had a wee boy, and then I think he's got a wee girl.
He does now,
Aye, and she was no long born, so she was just sort of getting fed, and he's like, do you want to come through and I'll show you the garage, and he took me right through his house and into like the garage that he was converting, and everything's going up there, so on, so on. So again, down to earth guy, like probably gets a bad rep through sort of stuff that he's been on and that, but much the same as everybody else.
He's done no bad figuring out, he's fucking passing and that.
Yeah, he's superb. Like, I looked at his like Twitter followers and stuff like that, and you're into like 3 million and 4 million and stuff like that. That's a crazy amount. Even like my fiance's family, they live over in Canada, and they were messaging, they're like, I can't believe you met Gaz at Geordie Shore. I'm like, I wonder what they're sitting in Vancouver thinking about when watching Geordie Shore.
All the Twitter players you've framed and folk are buzzing because you've
met Gaz at Geordie Shore, I know.